Ladies and gentlemen, hello once again, back again, once again. The king is back, and he's more based than ever. We have a full lineup for today's patch notes. It's fucking crazy. Streamer drama, UK politics, and of course, we talking about America today, bitch. Let's do it. Let me give you the rundown. We got Amala, first video up. Amala put out a video. Miss America contestant refuses to compete against men. Fucking based. Now we have a new UK political party called Restore Britain. And then after that, we're going to break up the serious talk by talking about the Monster Hunter game everyone is ignoring. Monster Hunter Outlanders that was shown off in a trailer at the Tokyo Game Show. And then moving from that, we're going to go over the streamer drama between Burnt Peanut and Hassan. And it's going to be fucking crazy. So, that's the rundown for the video. Stick around to the end, like, subscribe, comment, do all that good shit. And I will release these in shorter versions, so if you wait a day or two, you will get a more condensed version that is specifically about the video that you want to see. So make sure you like and subscribe for more updates.
Men. Now Miss America, emphasis on Miss, is not allowing her to move forward in competition. I guess Miss America doesn't know what a Miss is? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
Hey. Her intro is so sick, by the way. The fucking instrumental, hard.
Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Today we're going to be meeting Kaylee Bush. Now, she was recently crowned Miss North Florida. Now, Miss North Florida typically gets to move on to compete in the Miss America pageant, but Kaylee received a contract which essentially stipulated that trans-identifying individuals would be able to compete against her in this Miss America competition.
I don't understand this, by the way. I really don't. If you support the trans stuff, sure, whatever. Fucking do you, right? Why would you try to push out trans stuff in an anti-trans environment, right? I just don't get it. They did this shit, what did they do this recently with, was it World's Strongest Man? I think it was like World's Strongest Man. They awarded it, a man fucking competed in the women's division. And he won. Of course he won. So then they stripped him of the fucking of the World's Strongest Man, and then they fucking, or World's Strongest Woman, sorry, and they gave it to an actual fucking woman who actually worked her ass off, who actually achieved insane strength as a woman, right? And now here we are again, where we have men who are little beta bitch boy fucking pussies who can't compete in a world's handsomest fucking man environment, that they have to compete in a beauty contest instead because they can't look masculine enough. It's so fucking gay. It's so
refused to sign that contract, and guess what? She's not moving
fuck?
forward. So let's watch a video and meet
Based, by the
Kaylee
way.
ourselves and see what's going on here.
You were looking to compete for Miss America, but then they took your Florida crown off you because you made statements about sort of transgender.
Yes, that is exactly right. I was asked to sign a contract that was different than the first one that I had agreed to because they had changed it 4 weeks after I rightly won. And so I didn't lose my crown because I broke a rule. I lost the crown because I was unwilling to rewrite the truth.
Okay, now we're gonna get
fucking based. Fucking based. Now the whole contract stuff, I don't know. I wasn't a part of it. I didn't fucking read up on it. I have no idea what contract was signed, when it was signed, when it was changed, right? But as a baseline principle, fundamental foundation, there should be no men competing against women in a fucking beauty contest. And if you want to have that, sure, have that be separate from the women's only, men's only, and then you'll have the co-ed fucking may the best beauty fucking win, or whatever the fuck weird shit that I never understood beauty contest culture. I never will. So it's like fucking what the fuck?
Some comments from a Miss America spokesperson that is refuting a little bit of what Kaylee has to say here. They say, quote, just to clarify, she did not lose her crown. She retained her crown. She simply did not go forward because she refused to sign the contract that every other contestant signed. This was just one of numerous lies by her, end quote. Which is interesting because she refuses to sign this contract, which essentially says that transgender contestants that have undergone surgery, by the way.
So they basically, hold on. So a spokesperson for Miss America refutes Kaylee's claim, telling TMZ, of course it's fucking TMZ, they've been doing a lot of fucking up lately too. Just to clarify, she did not lose her crown. She retained her crown. She simply did not go forward because she refused to sign the contract every other contestant signed. So essentially, this is one of those situations where we're all in the same club and you're just not in it. And if you want to get in it, then you have to agree to this fucking stipulation that we have blackmailed you with, even if you don't believe in it, because it's a bunch of make-believe, hoppy doppy fucking bullshit. And then we will allow you to compete. You either give up the crown or you sign this contract that signs away all your fucking beliefs. That says, I agree to all of these stupid, ridiculous fucking stipulations that you put in here. Because if you don't, even though you rightfully won, we're just going to pretend you don't exist. Now that's some bullshit. It's like stage 1, easy to fucking find blackmail. You either do this or we don't go along with your fucking whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, right?
Just one of numerous lies by her, end quote. Which is interesting because she refuses to sign this contract, which essentially says that transgender contestants that have undergone surgery, by the way, gender reassignment surgery, may compete in the Miss America competition. She refuses to sign this. They say you're not moving forward, which essentially, in my eyes, does sort of feel the same as losing your crown. I guess you still retain the title Miss North Florida, but you no longer get the subsequent competition that is meant to come with that. So,
I mean, it's just a form of blackmail. Yeah. It's either you do this or we take your chance to be Miss America away. It's straight up blackmail.
so let's continue watching.
And were you super upset, obviously, when you lost your crown and then Miss Cheerleaders America reached out to you and said, hey, we'll honour you?
Yes, it was heartbreaking, it was confusing, it was disappointing because Miss America has been honoring women for over 100 years and now they can't even define what a woman is. And heartbroken, it was a lot of soul searching, but God uses all things for good and here I am.
It is very interesting to have an organization that for decades has been for women, by women, I also believe, or maybe Miss America has been owned or run by men. You guys will let me know in the comments down below. But it's almost exclusively been used for showing women off their talents, their accolades, their intellect, the whole swimsuit thing, which I think has recently changed. But regardless, it's been for women. It's a pageant for biological women. And now, I guess not, we're allowing transgender competitors. And Miss America has been really wishy-washy on this. First, they were allowing all types of transgender competitors, meaning you could simply self-identify.
You know what's crazy? Is these type of pageants, right? These big time fucking big name shows, right? They used to set the beauty standard for women every single time they went on. And it's no different than like a fucking video game for a man. Like men, when we're in a fucking shooter game, we're fucking min-maxing, we're finding the meta fucking weapons, we're finding the fucking meta strategy, the right positioning to get the advantage right away as soon as you drop, right? For women, it's like, what kind of foundation did she use? What kind of makeup did she use? Right? Like, whatever woman wins, if she's using fucking L'Oreal, she's using fucking, I don't know what the fuck are the top makeup brands, whatever the fuck they are, right? Whatever she's using, women are going to buy that shit up like crazy the next day. Because this is the makeup that Miss America had. And there's nothing that sets a fire under a woman than another fucking woman. So, from whatever fucking emotion that stems from, it sold buku bucks for beauty. But now they've muddied the water so much with whatever fucking women got captured into this woke ideology, mind virus nonsense. Because I'm gonna be honest, like people, there's still a good section of people who are very much just not so caring about the whole transgender stuff. But the voice of the people who are absolutely anti-trans anything is continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. Whereas the trans support voice has continued to fall. Now, partly that has to do with the entire political shift that we've had over the new administration and all that stuff, right? That obviously plays a factor. But I also believe that because the market for knowledge and information isn't so censored like it used to be, it is now forcing this LGBTQ trans pride nonsense to step into the court of popular appeal. I'm very specific with my wording here. Popular appeal. It is simply not popular, especially if we're talking about trans. If we're talking about trans, it's always like 90-10 not in favor of trans. We're talking 90% of people disagree, 10% of people agree, right? There's no middle. None. Now, most people aren't going to be open about fucking voicing their stuff. They don't want to get involved, right? That's a lot of fucking drama, stress. People don't want it, right? So that's why there's people like me. Listen, I've said it before in previous videos. I fucking hate anything trans. I hate it. I think these people are vile, disgusting fucking retards, and we need to throw them all in a fucking box. Now, I'm not saying there isn't exceptions, but I don't base anything on exceptions to any rule because that rule is doomed to fail when it's made for a minority. Plain and simple. If it is made for the 1% and it only helps the 1%, well, then it's a failure of a fucking rule. It's a failure of a fucking law. And it's no different with a fucking movement. If the movement only helps 10%, then that 10% will always be doomed to be stuck right where it is. And in some cases, end up worse off than they were. So that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. In the court of public appeal, you were found guilty and you were charged for being retarded. Because there's obviously there's people who are trans who are not bad people at all. They're very much good people, right? And they're unfortunately caught they're kind of overshadowed by these crazy radical fucking lunatics that use it as a metaphorical fucking shield of virtue. And that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate because those voices, for example, like the Jeffree Stars of the world, are not going to be heard. They're just not. They're not going to be popular. They're not going to be pushed out by their own community because it goes against this fucking radical nonsense that's taken it over. Because if you didn't have the radicals and it was more people who were just like fucking Jeffree Star, just want to fucking live their life and dress like a fucking woman, nobody give a fuck. Nobody would care. Everybody be chill about it. But all this fucking crazy, radical, overblown nonsense is what everybody's actually fighting. It's not people who actually care. It's people who fake care to get what they want because they're selfish. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, easy, right? Now, me, I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with trans fucking anything. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I stand on business. I fucking hate anything trans. Fucking all of it. Fuck it all. I don't give a fuck. Get rid of it. If I had it my way, they'd all be in a box. I don't fucking care. Now, I'm also a fucking human being, right? I carry myself like a fucking professional. I go out in public and I see a trans person, I'm not gonna go up to them and fucking berate them and fucking talk shit on them and fucking make them feel like a piece of shit. That's not me. It's not me. It's not how I operate. I'm gonna say, hey, how you doing today? Then have a fucking they say, oh, I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing great, man. Hope you're having a good day. That's me. That's me. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. That's just how I operate, man. I either don't talk to people or I treat people with kindness. Plain and simple. It's an easy way to live. Easy way to live.
As a trans woman and be a part of the Miss America competition. Now they've changed their contract to say you have to undergo surgery in order to compete in the Miss America competition, which is really weird because I thought all trans women were women.
Damn. So they're roaching on themselves?
You're either standing on, one side of this battle or the other, it seems. And logically, I don't get how you can allow trans women to compete in your competition, but only if they've undergone sex reassignment surgery.
The radicals ain't gonna like that.
Is the surgery what really affirms the identity, or is it the belief that they have the identity? We'll wait for an answer from Miss America on that. I don't think we'll get one, but let's keep watching.
What were the circumstances that you spoke out?
Let me know down in the comments if you made it this far in the video, if you guys think that we should live stream the Miss America. Should we? Should we watch that fucking dumpster fire? I don't know, man.
About this.
So by circumstances, do you mean like?
So at what point did you say that men cannot be women?
Well, immediately as soon as we were given the contract, first thing, my mom and we started raising concern about it and got on a conference call immediately with one of the directors for the Miss America organization, and weeks and weeks and weeks of pleading with them, sending videos, sending letters, emails, demand letters through Liberty Counsel because they picked up my case, and they just no, and they doubled down and basically just got to the point where
But
they
what
said,
was the letter?
What did you say originally? What precipitated you speaking out?
Declining to sign the contract.
Yeah, declining to sign the contract.
Okay.
Because I couldn't agree that a little boy could mutilate his body and become a woman.
Why was that in the contract?
I don't know. That's something we got to ask the Miss America organization.
Yeah, it is something you should probably ask the Miss America organization, considering, again, they've been super wishy-washy on the stipulations and the qualifications for being able to be a part of.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised Trump wasn't more involved in this. As the person who likes to call everyone's woman beautiful for some reason right in front of them, it's a weird power play. And the fact that he always goes out of his way to put a attractive woman into the spotlight in one way or another, I am surprised that he hasn't seen this happening and instantly tried to shut it down. I'm so surprised, if I'm being honest.
This competition, and we've seen this with other pageants. They're allowing transgender individuals to compete, and sometimes those transgender individuals are winning. It's actually happened in numerous cases. And what you have is these young women and girls who are spending a lot of their time trying to be eligible to compete in these competitions and to go on to compete. They're working on their intellect and schooling. They're doing extracurriculars and volunteer work. They're showcasing their talents. They're putting time, money, effort into all of these things only to compete and sometimes be upstaged by biological men in a competition that is made for women.
Well, this is why I said they're not masculine enough to compete in a bodybuilding contest. They're not masculine enough. I don't know. Is there a fucking handsome fucking contest thing, model thing? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know this world, right? So y'all have to let me know in the comments if that's a thing. If that's a thing, like Mr. America or some shit, like these guys are too feminine to compete in that. So their only choice is to stoop so low that they have to become a woman. You know, why don't they just why didn't they just move to fucking Korea? Like, why don't we just send them to North Korea and they could become like North Korean K-pop or something, you know?
Does that make sense? And it's just the reality that we're living in right now, where girls are going to compete in pageantry, in sports, they're competing for scholarships, and biological men who identify as women are swooping in and taking these accolades away from them. And I think Miss America is an organization and a competition where that should not be happening. And I'll go ahead and show you another organization where this is taking place that has to do with pageantry. It's Miss Universe. Now, Miss Universe has a trans male that actually bought, I guess, the organization, the institution, whatever you call it. Here's a clip of that individual.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women.
Man,
I don't know, guys. Make it make sense. I
That's
guess nobody
great.
does womanhood like a biological male. That's what we always say when we do these videos. And I guess Miss America is going to have its own battle with this sort of stuff as other pageantry institutions have. We actually had in 2022, I believe, Miss United States of America head to court over this issue. And the court found that they were actually able to exclude transgender competitors based on the fact that they had in writing they wanted natural born female competitors in their pageant. Now, I would imagine the same would extend.
this is the crazy part. Why do you even have to be specific with the fucking wording when it's common fucking sense? The fuck?
To other organizations that are doing this pageantry, but they've just decided that in this modern day and age, we will take trans competitors and trans contestants. Now, as I said before, previously, the competition, that is Miss America, allowed anyone who identified as a female to compete. And in the new Miss America 2025 contract viewed by the Standard, competitors now have to identify either as a born female, that's the quote there, or a female who has, quote, fully completed sexual reassignment surgery, gender affirming surgery from male to female with accompanying medical certification. Now, in the trans community, there's actually a word for this, and it's kind of a word that you throw at people who believe that you have to have sexual reassignment surgery in order to be a real woman. They would call you a trans medicalist. This is something that is really looked down upon.
What the fuck? So you mean to tell me the all-inclusive club is not all-inclusive? Huh. I would have never guessed.
And I guess Miss America is now trans medicalist. They're saying, no, you can't just identify as a female. You have to get the body mutilation that goes along with identifying as female before you can compete in this competition. Never mind the fact that these are young people who are competing in this competition. Miss America needs to make up its mind about what a woman is. Regardless of the whole Kaylee Bush situation and the ins and outs of whatever she's going through, they need to figure that out. And we do have reality to lean on, that women have certain chromosomes, that they are born that way and not transition that way, and Miss America could lean on that, or they could lean on this ideology.
They could just be unapologetic. They need to stop giving in to the hate mob and just fucking throw in with the 90%, by the way, of the people. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's got to be a net loss for them. It has to be. Because now nobody's going to want to watch. It's like if a fucking, like High Guard right now. High Guard, in the terms of video games, put out a fucking trailer, got a very hype Showtime fucking spot at Jeff Keighley's fucking Game Awards. And the game is dog shit. It sucks ass. And it's now down to an astronomical, like, 1,200 players. 14, 15, I don't know, something like that. I don't, actually, you know what? I'm going to check it right now. Fact check. Hold up, fact check. SteamDB here. Look at that. Popular today, High Guard. Oof. Oof. It's worse than I thought. 1,121 players. Peaked at 97,000 max. Max. That's crazy. So yes, you made a game that appealed to a very, very niche audience already, and then you did it poorly, which it seems like Miss America is following the same trend where they are making a pageant for a very niche audience that is going to be received poorly, which means they will make no money off of the show. If anything, it will be a massive net loss to even put this production on. So, at what point are you going to make business decisions that are a net benefit, not a net negative? Because at some point, the employees are going to come knocking on the door and they're going to say, "Where's my paycheck? I didn't get paid for that pageant." And they're going to say, "Sorry, we didn't make enough." And they're going to say, "Why?" And then you're gonna give them the corporate spiel and not tell them the fact that you decided to inject a bunch of social politics in and absolutely ruin the fabric of that pageantry, fucking what or pageant show, fucking I don't know what the terms are.
That essentially says mutilate your body as a man to become a woman before we will certify that you are able to compete in Miss America.
Wild.
That's crazy. No young girl should have to be going through this, competing against biological men in this way. And honestly, no trans person who is experiencing gender dysphoria should be told by an organization like Miss America that they should undergo sexual reassignment surgery and mutilate their body before they are seen as a competitor in this realm. Maybe we could save all of ourselves the time, the pain, the mutilation by saying women are born women. Misses are born misses. And that's who's allowed to compete in the Miss America competition. Okay. We're not even getting into the fact that a lot of these women and girls are very vulnerable throughout these pageants. They're changing. There used to be swimsuit competitions, all sorts of stuff. And to allow a biological man into that space, even if they've undergone surgery, is so very wrong. I could talk about this for hours and hours on end. I'm not going to put you through that. I just wanted to highlight the story and say that Miss America probably needs to figure this out. And I think we could figure it out very easily by just asserting that women are women and men are men, and we're not switching and flipping all over the place. And unfortunately, transgender identifying people don't get to compete in Miss America. It's just one thing you skip out on, you lose with this identity. Guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think the only thing I disagree with her in this video on is the fact that she was trying to find a rational thought. These people are not rational. They're not rational. They're ideologically fucking captured fucking NPCs, fucking retards. That's it, plain and simple. They have nothing but make believe that guides their fucking every essence into this fake agenda that they've been pushing around. And the reason why you know it's fake is because the minute you even challenge them on it, and you do hit them with the facts, they have no rebuttal. Or the rebuttal is a talk around. Instead of dealing with your direct response, they instead go around your response and talk about some other shit that doesn't fucking matter. You know who did that recently on the other side that everybody likes to hate? Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi did that shit recently in Congress. And my God, does that dumbass bitch need to be fired? Holy fuck. Anyway, that was a very random tangent, but I do need to get that off my chest, which we'll probably cover at the end of this video here. Man, Miss America, huh? Can't even figure it the fuck out. That's crazy. And the reason that they're constantly switching is because they're trying to play the fucking social game. Stop playing the social game. Just fucking say a woman is a woman, stop pretending to be women, and fucking put on the goddamn pageant with real fucking women. Plain and simple. Easy, done. You'll get all the investments you want. You'll get all the fucking tickets sold, right? Because the vast majority of the population is in favor of that. Easy. All right. That is done. Moving on to the next segment of today's patch notes. UK politics. Kind of crazy. We're starting to become Mr. Worldwide when we talking about these politics stuff, right? We were talking about Canada for a little bit now. I'm still waiting for some really good, juicy, concrete stuff from that to make some more videos on. But for now, they've been kind of just spinning their wheels, doing a lot of talking. I don't give a fuck about talking. I care about action. I want to see what people are doing. So, in the UK, there has been action. A new party, Restore Britain by Rupert Lew. Let's see what he has to say. I guess we're going to find out, man.
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm.
From the
because
farm.
Places like this represent what proper Britain is about.
Proper British,
Hard
man.
work, responsibility, effort,
Hard work,
duty,
responsibility.
stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love.
True.
On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling.
Facts.
You think in seasons. You think in generations. In what you leave behind.
Hold on. What is this quality? What is this? What is this? What is this quality?
To those who come after you. And
Fuck is this
that's
bullshit?
why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going
Restore
to dedicate
Britain.
my life to finding, organising, funding, and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians. I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from education, from industry, representing real communities up and down the country. Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment.
That is fucking genius. That's so good. That's so good. I do think that is a massive problem. Because like I've seen a lot of people push back against the idea of removing people in a position of power, like putting term limits on Congress people, for example. I honestly think you got fucking 10 years. I think if you get elected to Congress, unless you lose an election, right? You got 10 years. You got a whole fucking decade to make a positive change. And if you don't, well, then I guess we didn't need you anyway. Your 10 years are up. See you later. Why do we have people like fucking Nancy Pelosi who are in there for longer than a lot of people have been alive? Why the fuck have we let some old fucking crones? I mean, we have Congress people who are so old, they don't know how fucking computers work, and they're using AI images to push policy. This is why we're in the state that we're in the US. Now, I'm not saying we should throw a bunch of fucking young 25, 30-year-olds in there. It's not a good idea, right? They don't have that much life experience. Now, a few of them to bring in new ideas, sure. But obviously, there has to be some checks and balances even with that. But whoever wins is whoever wins. You know, if they won at the polls, they won at the polls. They're going to be the congressman or congresswoman, and they're going to put in their 2 cents on the country. But if they're doing a bad job, one, it's a good checks and balance for that, because then they can only fuck it up for 10 years. and then they're gone, done, fully banned, never to return, can never be a congressman, a congresswoman again, just done. And they can move on to some other part of politics. They could be a governor, they could be a mayor, or a fucking even try to run for president if they got enough backing for it, right? I do think that needs to happen, and you can argue, like we can argue, like how long the limit should be, but I do think that that needs to be a thing. There needs to be a limit on how long that these people could influence government, because then it keeps this crazy radical sensationalism from gripping hold of too many people, right? Because it destroyed the Democrat Party, destroyed it. There's nothing left for the Democrats. They're fucking done. There's like 2, 3 true Democrats left. And the rest of them, radical, liberal, fucking blue hair, Karen, what the fuck is going on over there? And it ain't getting any better for the fucking Republican side either. The conservative fucking radicalism is starting to take them over as well. And you're starting to see the cracks in the foundation of what the Republicans used to stand for are starting to fucking show a lot more wear and tear now. But I will say they've held it together a lot better than the fucking Democrats have. They just completely got lost in the ideological fucking radical politics.
And every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken. Because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people.
True.
And I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it. Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported.
True.
The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive.
True.
If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
Oh. Hey, listen. When are we going to get one of those? Like straight up. Like maybe like Marco Rubio has a chance, right? You get a Pete Hegseth in there. They might be radical enough to do it. But this guy, damn. We need this guy right now. I will gladly do a quick swap and just have him run some shit for a while and just input his policy. And oh man, he's cooking so far. I mean, we still got about halfway left. So maybe he fucks it up from here. But right now, oh!
Restore Britain will make our communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you.
Based.
If that means millions go, then millions go.
True.
We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants.
You know, that fucking pisses me off. I like how everybody, this is gonna, another tangent of me being pissed off at Pam Bondi. She brought up the fucking Dow when she was getting absolutely hogwashed by the fucking Congress people about the Epstein stuff. And she brought up the fucking Dow out of nowhere, like that's some sort of indicator of good economic growth, which, if you're in the top 1%, sure. But if you're everyone who you see every day in your local town, in your fucking city, on whatever side of that city that you live on, and you go to the most places, right? Your Walmarts, your fucking general stores, your fucking gas stations, the people that you see the most, they're not feeling the effects of this oh so good economy. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I'm so sick of it, dude. And it's the same thing with the fucking no tax on overtime, which was a big fucking scam because it was the no tax on the 0.5 of the 1.5 of the overtime. It's such a fucking nitpicky little fucking piece of shit move. Man. And people, unfortunately, people are in a situation where they're not feeling great. So they're just clinging on to whatever they can. You know, that's what hope does, right? It just tries to find a way. And there has been nonstop policy fuck up after fuck up after fuck up by Trump, by Vance, by fucking whoever else is pushing these policies out. Now, that's not saying that there hasn't been good ones, but the ones that were supposed to be good were also crazy fucking misleading.
We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered. Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers to live off the back of hard-working men and women. If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple.
Based. Oh my God, we need this here. We need this here. A little bit of background about me. I used to work for housing, Section 8 housing, used to work for them. Maintenance technician, right? And there are a good amount of people who are just unfortunate circumstances in life, right? They're a bit too old now to try to work their way up the ladder anymore. So having Section 8 to kind of take care of them is doing a very good thing, right? But there's also a lot of bad fucking people who are taking full advantage of Section 8 housing to live basically rent-free, $50 a month, just not do fucking shit. And they are net negatives on society. They're out committing crimes, getting away with it, and then coming back to Section 8 housing where they're still getting away with it. They're not fucking turned in. They're not fucking given up because whatever local government they have is doing whatever they can to protect them, most likely for votes. And it's so fucking sad. It's so sad to see that there's a homeless veteran somewhere on the streets that could use a home, but instead there's a criminal in the home that he could be living in. We could throw that criminal in a fucking box and make him work in a labor camp and put that veteran up in a home for his service. You know, that criminal could be making number 2 pencils.
Restore Britain will be abundantly clear.
That's crazy.
If you consistently
It's
refuse
nuts.
work, then you will lose your benefits.
Yes.
We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families.
Based.
Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labor shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty.
This is why I think term limits need to be a thing. Because once you have been removed from the norms of society for so long, eventually you will lose sight of what it means to be in that position. Straight up, it's a rare thing that people do not change once they are out of a certain situation. It's a rare thing. Because there's some people who will use it to do better. There are some people who will use it to do much worse, right? An example of this. A perfect example of this Look at Lil Nas X, who completely destroyed his fucking life after he got famous. Look at Shaquille O'Neal. After he absolutely excelled in his life. I mean, that motherfucker became an actual police officer, right? He has massive investments into many, many, many businesses, right? He has used his platform to become successful. Whereas like somebody like Lil Nas X use his platform to virtue signal, social politics, get into drugs like crazy, and then ended up being on a fucking, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like TMZ or something like that, recording him naked in the street, high on whatever drugs he was on, and fucking just absolutely, I don't think he was naked actually. I think he was like in his underwear or something like that. And just absolutely crashing the fuck out. Like the dichotomy there is insane.
The state has definitively become the enemy of the people. Restore
True.
Britain will...
But getting back to what I was saying, I just realized I didn't fucking finish that. This is why I think that we need to have term limits, right? Now we can have very long terms, sure. You can have a fucking 20-year term, but you have to then remove that person and ban them from returning and get somebody else new who has been paying the fucking bullshit fucking tax of whatever the last administration was, the energy bills, the fucking eggs in the grocery store, right? They're the ones who have been counting their fucking dollars every week after week after week after week. That's why you need the limits. You need the limits to do the refresh. Let's not work on the fucking state of what you thought everything was 50 years ago, and let's work on what everybody is going through in the past 8 years. What decisions were made in the past 8 years, whoever was president, that were negative, positive? How do we improve that? How do we keep improving? If you want the golden age, you have to set the limits.
burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise.
True.
We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush.
What the fuck is a quango? Hey, my overseas people, let me know what the fuck that is, because I have no idea.
Parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again. But Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased. We will celebrate our Christian heritage and the
True.
identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam.
Oh shit. All right. Let me get this point out, and then we'll move on to this. Holy fuck. This guy's cooking like crazy, man. I think it's funny. Everybody likes to use Japan as the example, the utopian example of a high trust society. What they never factor in, I said that weird. What they never take into account is the fact that Japan is highly security driven. They're very much no nonsense. I literally watched a video the other day of some fucking radical guy going crazy, like a drunk guy just going nuts. And they literally burritoed this man. Just carried him off like he was luggage. Japan has, I think it's like a 98 or 99% conviction rate. I'm gonna let you fucking just let that sink into your brain. If you break any law in Japan, unless you're fucking what was his name? Johnny Somali, apparently. You're cooked, man. If you are taken to a Japanese court, you are cooked. And it is insane because it's not saying that there isn't bad parts of Japan, right? Because there's like obviously there's like the red light district that's got a bunch of weird like fucking like migrant Africans there just fucking absolutely fucking everything up just like they are everywhere else. And so there are bad parts, right? Like any other place. But the vast majority of Japan is insanely safe and insanely fucking clean because you can't fucking spit without a camera being on you. They can find you in seconds. Everything is efficient. Everything is, you will abide by our customs, our rules, and you will abide by our traditions, and you will not force your bullshit here. But the problem is in the West, here, especially in the UK and in the United States, is those customs, those traditions disappeared. The heavy reliance on faith was shattered. At some point, I would have to like kind of go back and give myself a little history lesson to like really pinpoint where this happened, but there was a shattering of the belief and faith in this country that guided the entire country into achieving so many amazing things. And then the same thing happened in the UK. I don't know if it was like this wash of guilt or this like suffering from success, maybe. I don't understand where it came from. I have not taken the time to really look back and try to analyze it. But it's clear to me that there was a shift. And in that shift, the foundation of religion was destroyed. And because of that, people were looking for guidance. They were looking for anything that they could believe in to give them a purpose, an ideological way to drive themselves toward a goal in life. And it led to the creation, belief, and radicalization of many, many, many people. So the only way you can do it is if you go in by force. You grab all these fucking ideologically trapped morons, you throw them in the fucking box, and you reestablish the religious foundation that the country was built on. You push patriotism, you push all these fucking like proper prideful fucking unapologetic agendas that the US is currently doing. Now, the UK is a bit different. Their suffering, I think, has a little bit more to do with guilt because they are basically the foundation for many conflicts that happen throughout history. The US is a fairly new nation compared to everywhere else in the world, right? I mean, just look at fucking China. They've been around for fucking so many years. It's insane. So, while we have a sort of complicated violent history, the UK is like the center of a lot of it. They're almost the provogators, or is that the right word? The people who provoked conflict across the world. It's kind of insane. It's kind of nuts. They've touched almost every shore that you could possibly think of, and it was most likely in a way that was a net negative to the native population that lived there at the time, whether it was Europeans, whether it was natives, whether it was Arabs, whether it was Asians, whoever was there at the time. It was actually insane. The fucking Australians, even at one point, it's fucking crazy, man.
That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing
Crazy.
our Christian-based rule of law.
Exactly. Exactly.
A Restore Britain government would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil. This is Britain, and we will do things our way.
True. I do think that it is about time that the people in the UK, England especially, need to really start showing some fucking pride. Really start having some backbone, some fucking pride in your goddamn country, man. You've built so many beautiful things, and everybody's got a fucking past, man. You let yourself be controlled by your past, and you are never going to move forward. And I would hate to have to become I would hate for the US to essentially have to isolate itself because it decided to follow the golden age and progress things forward, whereas like the fucking Europe decided to just throw their entire country, their continent away over some shit that happened a fucking century ago. Like, come on, man.
This political party now exists for one reason: to restore Britain.
True.
To make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult, and it will be painful. But I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country. It is now our collective responsibility to act.
True.
Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
What a fucking W. So this is the new guy, and I'll tell you right now, if I was over there where you guys lived, I would vote for him immediately. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? Insane. W fucking video. Now, we are going to break up the politics, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the Monster Hunter game no one is talking about. And it's this Monster Hunter Outlanders Tokyo Game Show 2025. Now, the reason nobody's talking about this fucking game is because it's a mobile game. Now, I'm going to offer, if somehow somebody wants to clip this and send it to the devs for Monster Hunter Outlanders, I'm telling you right now, you need to make a port of this game, because I know it's a mobile game. Make a port of this game for the Nintendo Switch 2, for the Rogue Ally, for the Steam Deck, for the handheld consoles. You do that, you're going to sell a lot more fucking copies. All right? But if you're just going to stick to mobile, people aren't really going to play it like that. I know there is a big mobile market, but the vast majority of the market are people who are very uninvolved with the mobile scene. So, especially here in the US, there's still kind of like it's not as prevalent as it was, but there's always been like this underlying like mobile games are scummy kind of sentiment that has always followed mobile games here. Now, like I said, it's gotten better, but it's still there. So, you know. This game's supposed to be more like a traditional Monster Hunter game, not like Monster Hunter Now, or Monster Hunter Go, or whatever it was. Crazy. I like the Rathalos armor. Oh, yeah. Rathalos greatsword. really hope they have controller support for this thing. Damn! Damn! Hey, yo! Oh, that's badass. Nah, that's sick. Longsword user? Okay, so I'm getting that there's, instead of just base weapons where you swap the weapons, it's characters. Is this gonna be a gacha game? That looks so sick, by the way. Oh, chop that shit off. Breath blows, Angie, bear off, Pookie Pookie. Okay. So it looks like there's still a perfect evade and perfect block in this game. Of course, always going hard. Chopping trees? Is this a simulation game? Wait, no, not simulation. Survival? If this is a survival Monster Hunter game, bruh, you have to put it out. You have to give it a port. Okay, so you have the kind of random camp pop-up thing. Ooh. Yo, blue, blue. What the hell is that? Ain't no way. Just shot that thing with a beach ball? Bro, that's crazy. That was a boat. Oh, man. It does go hard. Oh, so that little owl thing is like a companion for the bow user. Oh. Oh, that's kind of sick. Crazy. Man. It does look good. It does look good. I hate to say it. It does look good. But again, I do think that they should at least put it on like the handheld consoles instead of like going like a full PC release. Because I'm sure it can't take that much to kind of upscale it to work on a handheld console. Because like your phone, especially, is like if you have a newer phone, that fucking thing is powerful enough as it is. Right. So it can't be that much more to kind of give it a bit of a boost and optimize it for a handheld console device. Man, that's sick. Not enough people are talking about this, but I'm really hoping it's gonna be fucking cool. I really am. Because eventually I'm going to get tired of playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I've been absolutely cooking in that fucking game. But the only boss I have left to beat is the Savage Omega Planetus, which I had my first run in with him. Honestly, it's not going to be too terrible of a time. I actually find it easier to deal with him than the original. For some reason, I don't know. I think I have a little bit of bias because I know the move set now. And granted, like the Savage Omega one, he hits a lot harder and he fucking spams like crazy. So like you have to really fucking dial it in. But outside of that, not the worst. So I yeah. I'm about done with Monster Hunter Wilds, so this would be a good filler game, I think, to kind of get in between there, hopefully. Now, we are done with that. Now we're going to talk about this. Hasan on the burnt peanut. Hasan has been crashing out lately. In case you guys don't know, hi, my name is Jerry, aka Bearded Bear 9000 here on YouTube, a fucking nobody. So I get to have fun. And one of the best things about having fun is being an absolute fucking hater for no reason. Uh, there's a few people in the overall social media sphere, because I'm very much uninvolved, that grind my fucking gears. One of them is Hasan. And I was very much like not really all that caring about Hasan until he started piping up about a bunch of shit and just blatantly fucking lying to everyone's face. But it is finally coming back to bite him because his jealousy, his selfish nature, everything about him is starting to show the hypocrisy, the blatant lies that he continues to say over and over and over again. And I really hope I get pushback on this. And if you do want to push back on this, comment down below something that he said that was actually true, and I will fact check that live, or not even live. I'll fact check that in a different video from multiple sources, and we will find out if that was actually true or if you were, again, scammed by the influencer.
I just know you're fucking with me. All right, pal. Even if you did have internet, there.
Bro, this is the number one streamer of Israel. Israel's finest.
This is the other one. The Israel buzzword. Hasan is literally Trump. He's literally Trump. You don't have to watch a Trump speech to know what's going to happen. You could just skip right to the questions to see him squirm a little bit. It's the same thing with Hasan. You don't need to watch Hasan's stream. Stop watching Hasan's stream. You don't need to watch it because he's going to say the same fucking thing every single stream about a different fucking streamer. And it's always the same result. It's always the same result. He's always going to throw out some blatant allegations that have no bearing at all, have no evidence at all, which I'm surprised not a single person has tried to sue him over, which is kind of insane. We'll move it here. Actually, yeah, we'll go up there. That way everybody can see. All right, we're chilling. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, he's been doing this weird fucking crash out phase because everybody's ignoring him. He hit his absolute high of being able to get in and talk to Zoran Mamdani and some weird fucking a couple of like articles, publisher fucking things or something like that. I don't know. Some sort of weird fucking shit. And from what I know of it, like these articles and stuff that are getting that he was a part of or getting written about him and stuff like that, they get like not even a quarter of his views. So like why would you capitulate to mainstream media that can't even keep up with your own internet presence? What the fuck? Like, how do you ever expect to surpass the Asmongold's? How do you ever expect to pass the fucking burnt peanuts of the world when you're out here with some backwater fucking article that no one's gonna fucking read? What are we talking about?
I saw one of his fucking takes.
But yeah, so here he is. He's crashing out. Over
I saw
burnt
one of his
peanut.
takes about like America #1, and it was awesome.
We've got.
Okay, so this is to give you context so you can see Which one is it? I think it's this one.
Joke. Buddy, we got a flying USA is a joke. Buddy, we got a flying black Dorito worth more than the entire GDP of your country that could flatten your shit before you blink.
Wait, it's Iceland.
So that initial take is what kind of set everything off. And of course, the minute that politics was brought up, of course, Hassan's going to weigh in with his stupid ass fucking takes. But again, here's another one.
Hey, Kick spammer, the Burt Peanut is a racist. He's on Twitter for supporting the USA. The USA sucks. Andy Viewbot. He's got a picture of Patrick giving me the thumbs down.
Man, that guy needs to be modded over here. Mods, can we go get him?
Wait, hold up. His name is Gavin Newsom Fan 2028.
Wait, never mind. Leave him there.
Hey, I like Gavin Newsom, buddy. Where else am I going to get fentanyl from? He hands it out like candy on Halloween. Don't you slander my fentanyl dealer.
Bro, I swear to God, man, everybody's eating right now, dude. It's crazy that the entire left fucking radical social politic fucking retards are all getting cooked by a peanut. And he's not even a political streamer. He's literally just a fucking gamer who has political takes every once in a while. And fucking, well, he's had more lately because people won't shut the fuck up about it. But
well, Twitter, here we come.
Absolutely
Here we
cooked.
come.
Yeah, you can't go talking shit and then Gavin Newsom be the fucking example that you think needs to be the fucking standard. Shut the fuck up, idiot. So, of course, you know, the two biggest fucking, this is his kind of Peanuts response to Hassan and Sneeko. Sneeko's another one. What an absolute fucking cuck retard that one is. Jesus Christ.
Homeless people on the streets of LA living in tents with a newer iPhone than your president. USA, USA, back to back with what you mean!
Fucking awesome. Hell yeah, baby.
Amen, brother. USA.
I said we have an elite pedo cabal running the government so their pedo friends can extract super profits from the global south so that we could we dominate militarily the wealthiest nation on earth. We're close to 1 million people sleep outside every night. We are a cruel joke. We can do better.
I don't know. Did I respond to this? Let me see. I did respond to something on here. I don't know if I put a reply to that or not. No. Wait. Oh, I did the Sneeko one. Oh, no, I did. I did put a reply. What did I put down? Oh, man. So he said, we have an elite pedo cabal running the government so their pedo friends can extract super profits from the global south that we dominate militarily in the wealthiest nation on earth where close to 1 million people sleep outside every night. We are a cruel joke. We can do better. So I got in the comments and said, bro, shut the fuck up. I think we should send you to China permanently. This country provided your entire life and wealth, of which you like to virtue signal about in the most hypocritical way. At least justice is served because there is always going to be one man you'll never surpass. And then, of course, you know, I had to put the fucking Asmongold in there to make do him dirty, the man who can't drink water type shit. So I responded to that. And then I responded to Sneeko, where he fucking went off about fucking Burnt Peanut on some bullshit. And, what did he say? Give it context here.
Yeah, I don't know if a fucking peanut, you're probably too fat to show your real face, should call anybody a third worlder.
So Sneeko's out here with those fat plastic fucking injected lips of his in his goddamn Eminem wannabe hair, talking about fucking Peanut's possible appearance behind the camera of his VTuber model. So of course I responded with this, where he's fucking got his goddamn bullshit ass fucking jerking off fucking on screen. What a dumbass bitch, dude. So hold up, this you? And then I responded to this random person: USA is not a joke. We got war machines we use to destroy third world countries. A very interesting comeback, very representative of what the US is, not gonna lie. Of course, I said based Peanut, bro, best in the fucking world, USA, baby. So yeah. I put out my responses to these people and their fucking retarded takes. Hassan is unfortunately on the decline. I hate to see it, man. He has I think he's honestly, I think he is the testament to stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss begins to stare back into you, right? And he's slowly became the person he hated the most. He's now Trump. Hassan is Trump in 2026. And you slowly see it kind of eating away at his brain, like the hypocrisy of it, because he can't comprehend it no more. He's so lost in the sauce, you know? And it is sad to see, the decline of one of the GOATs, it is. But, everybody's time comes. You do have to retire at some point. And honestly, if I was Hassan, I would retire to China and I would just fucking live my life in peace and enjoy my vast wealth that I made off the back of a country that I complained about the entire fucking time. So, doing what you do, doing what you do. But yeah, so that was my response to everything, and fucking Hassan's dumbass fucking takes. Of course, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that. I am a better man, right? If you want to go sit through the brain rot that is Hassan, go watch Asmongold. Okay. The burnt peanut has made a Hassan and Sneeko crash out because he talked trash about the U.S. being better than a third world. Here it goes. Peanut's response to the Crashinators.
Dude, I wake up every day to some bitch groaning on Twitter. It's actually, if waking up to grown men beefing with a peanut was a sport, I'd be fucking LeBron James. I would genuinely be LeBron James. They just can't leave me alone.
Absolutely based. Absolutely based. Peanut really is the GOAT, and the best thing that he can do is just not acknowledge them. Just not acknowledge them. You're above them. You're just a gamer and a peanut. That's it. He's playing this so well, and I hope he continues to do so. Because the minute that you acknowledge it, the minute you try to capitulate in any capacity, they will absolutely try to tear you apart. So, W Peanut, and I hope for many more. So, but yeah, of course, I'm sure fucking in the coming days, Hassan's gonna fucking backtrack. Oh, I didn't say this. Oh, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? That's not even what was said. Blah 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 blah. And always. And if you want any example of how trustworthy Hassan can be, just go to the clip of where Hassan was talking about the Renee Good situation with Asmongold, where Hassan was in Asmon's chat and Asmon asked him direct questions, of which he never got a direct response to, because Hassan knows that everything that he says is a bunch of bullshit. It's mouth diarrhea. It's a bunch of fucking buzzword ass Andy. I have no fucking foundation to my beliefs. Fucking bullshit. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That is it. And I'm going to end this video off by pissing off the rest of the fucking internet because I am already absolutely fucking cooking. There are two people that I hope get absolutely fucking fired right now. And that is this bitch, Pam Bondi. For the love of fucking Christ, fire this bitch, Trump. Fire this dumbass hoe. Fire that dumbass. She's not doing her job. She made an absolute fool of you in front of Congress and the world with this Epstein situation and how she's handled it. And then the next person that needs to be fired is Kash Patel. Both of these absolute fucking morons. Perfect picture to end it off with a rant about how much I hate these two goddamn idiots. Incompetent fucking fools. And the sad part is, like, people never really cared for Pam Bondi to begin with, right? There were some people who were kind of positive, but for the vast majority didn't give a fuck. People had high hopes for Kash. They did. They came in with expectations of him. And they did it to themselves, to be fair, bringing up the Epstein shit over and over and over and over again, because people like to confuse that with, oh, Trump brought it up. Trump brought it up like twice. He brought it up twice, and these two ran their entire fucking persona off of getting this done and doing it right. They have failed to do so in every single fucking metric. They're hiding information. They're not being honest with the American people, and they should be fucking tried in a fucking public court on the highest level for full incompetence and not doing their duties to the American people that they were literally assigned and elected to do by way of us putting in the current administration. So, what are we doing? Why are we letting this happen? Why are we allowing them to put this fucking veil over our heads and fucking not absolutely go scorched earth, zero tolerance, get rid of them, and put in better people in their position? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Trump is so fucking soft in every single way. He doesn't need to be. And it pisses me off. I just don't understand it. But that's it. That's the end of my rant. I don't want to go on this fucking bullshit forever. If I watch the video, I'm just going to end up screaming and peeking out my fucking mic. So, and I think it's like fairly late. So I don't want to be doing that. But we made a pretty concise first patch notes back for only an hour 25 minutes. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I didn't fucking go on a tangent too much. Fuck these two. Fire them. And I hope you like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, and have a great, wonderful, amazing rest of your day, morning, night, evening, whatever it is you're doing. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for watching, and catch you in the next one. Peace.